Okay, in today's video, I'm going to introduce the concept of immortality and kind of round out this concept of motherism and how this all connects to consciousness and the archetype and etc., natality and the whole nine yards. Before we get started, there are some things that I kind of want to stress, okay? When it comes to the concept of immortality, there is no such thing as hell. Hell is a social construct that human beings came up with. Okay? That the idea is that we have godparents, that God, Daddy God, being love, being wholeness, is both masculine and feminine. Daddy God is Daddy God, like he was in the garden, but there's also a mother of God, which is the divine mother. And they function as, right, your godparents. And your godparents are committed to your growth as a person, growth of you as an individual, growth of you in a spiritual context, in a social context. And the idea of this concept of natality is that your godparents, your guiding spirits, have tasked you with something to create and bring something new into existence from the perspective of a Hannah Arendt. So I've made this little chart here to kind of paint a really good picture of what I mean, and hopefully this makes a little bit more sense, okay? So you have your Godhead, whether your Godhead is Yahweh, whether your Godhead is Allah, whether your Godhead is Oshimade, Eshu, the Divine Mother, whomever. But the idea is you have godparents that are committed to you growing and becoming the best that you ultimately can be. Okay? This realm up here is eternity. So this line here is positive infinity and negative infinity, symbolized as eternity. This block here, this bracket, is the metaverse. This bracket here is existence. Okay? And everybody will have, down here in the corner, everybody will have a birth, your nativity, which is this point here, and you will have a death, which is your mortality, which is this point here. Anything after your death is non-being. Anything before your birth is non-being. So natality is being. God is being. And the purpose of life is becoming, right? Is aflorar porque florecer. So now these four components that kind of emerge within the context of what does it mean to be? What does it mean to exist? You first have natality, which is given to you by your Godhead, right? You have a reason to be. Your natality is the socio-historic forces that are imposed upon you as a person. You have your character, which is about spiritual alignment to the Godhead of your understanding, right? As above, so below, as within, so without. The concept of mind, body, soul, right? You then have your quest, which is your hero's journey. And last but not least, you have your ikigai. The ikigai are your talents and the tasks that you have been given to complete in the earth. When you think about your task, it reminds me of two things in the Bible. So my ikigai, I'm going to break this down in a different video, but your ikigai brings up two aspects within Christian theology. The first one, when you think of the talents, is I'm reminded of the parable of Jesus where he talks about how everybody's been given a talent. Some people have been given one, some people have been given two, and some people have been given one, some people have been given two. And you're supposed to deposit your talents and make use of them and return an interest on them, right? Your task, as it pertains to Christian theology, is your daily bread. Because back from the biblical understanding of it, Bread was something that you would have to make every single day. So, whatever your daily task is as a person is connected to your ikigai and your talents. This is how we get the idea of the divine mother, because usually for mothers, motherhood is your task, as a part of your becoming as a woman. You get to see and grow with your children and understand yourself and understand that this is ultimately reflective of your Godhead. About immortality, then. Think about some people in history that were immortal. I'm reminded of Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is immortal, right? Because he had a story and we still talk about his story thousands of years later, right? You think about even more recently, people like Albert Einstein and Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson had his ikigai, right? That's what makes him immortal. People still talk about him after his mortality. Albert Einstein, right? You would say that his quest to, you know, with the contributions that he made to science, physics, etc., quantum physics, all that stuff. I think that's the right stuff. I'm not. And his character and his natality and all the things that he contributed to the world, to existence as a person. So the one thing I really want to stress is how this is all connected to consciousness, to growth over time, and how this is connected to your Godhead, the source of who you ultimately believe to be the God of your understanding. I challenge you to think about your own immortality. What makes you you? What makes you an individuated person out of a whole sea of different people? Because when you begin to tap into that, you begin to realize how you happen to be an infinite manifestation of the way in which life, right? Of the way in which God and your orishas can come into existence. Because we are all embodiments and aspects of God. We are all embodiments and aspects of culture, of our Godheads, of our deities. And they are the ones that have given us a place to be so that way we could grow and learn more about ourselves and ultimately become something.